What is a patriarchy? What does it mean when people say that we live in a patriarchy?
So for me, a patriarchy describes a system that has been built by men and that is built to usually profit men more than it does women.
The easiest way to explain it is that the interests of men are the most important thing in the society.
That how our society is structured is pretty much that the power belongs to mostly the men, or the structures in our society favor the power of men.
I think one example is you have medicine or drug tests actually done on men, so most drugs are made for men's health and not for women's health.
You can also see it, for example, with crash test dummies. So crash test dummies are usually made to fit the average male body, not female body. And so that means that car safety is designed around that as well.
As long as we live in a patriarchy, I think gender equality will be really hard, maybe impossible to achieve. So gender equality will first require ending the patriarchy and establishing a system that is fair to all genders.
Gender equality would mean that it's not a patriarchal society, but neither a matriarchal. So it's not that women rule. It's not that any gender rules. It's actually a society where no one's being oppressed because of their gender.
To me, it really means that we can be ourselves, no matter our gender, no matter our sex, no matter our body, no matter the color of our skin. So really, for me, it's about a lot of things. And it means that we have the same chances and the same liberties to do the things we want to do.
When people say they want to smash the patriarchy, does that mean they want to put women in charge?
Oh no, definitely not. They just want equal structures so that the chances in society are equal between men and women.
I mean, I'm sure you will get different answers depending on who you ask, but my definition or my understanding of smashing the patriarchy would not be to put women in charge, but to simply eliminate all the bias towards men and simply establish a system in which neither women nor men are in charge, but in which both genders, or really all genders, have all opportunities, all access, and all possibilities to really be who they want to be.
I don't think it means putting women in charge. I mean, I personally would like it if there were more women in charge. But normally it really means asking ourselves as a society how we can make life better for everybody, so for all genders. Because also patriarchy means thinking gender and sex just in a binary way. You know, we're always talking about women and men, but what about all the other people who maybe don't want to be either?
What I do think is I want to change society, and I want to change society on a quite radical level, because at the moment we say, oh yes, some women should earn a bit more, so rich women should earn the same as rich men, or rich white women should earn the same as rich white men. And I want to say, let's look at this and how can we build a society that everybody can be happy and healthy and can live to the best of their abilities.
What is one myth about gender equality you wish you could dispel once and for all?
Oh, that's all feminists hate men.
I think there's a lot of myths about gender equality. One of them is that we have already achieved gender equality.
When I was young, I didn't see a necessity for feminism, just because in my world I never came across like people who were discriminated against based on their gender.
If you look, for example, at the global gender gap or indexes like that, they show that there's not a single country on this planet in which women and men are equal.
Maybe the biggest myth about gender equality in my eyes is that we don't need to do anything to achieve gender equality, because people think it already exists, but there are lots of layers on which gender equality doesn't exist, and we don't necessarily see all of them if we are not affected, and we should just be open to see the different layers.
I can remember my mom trying to talk to me when I was a teenager about gender equality, and I was just having none of it. I was not interested in the conversation. I thought that gender equality had been solved, that it was a thing of the past. Like, I had learned about the suffragettes and women getting the vote in history class, history class. So to me, it was a part of history. We had moved on beyond that. I thought women and men are equal. So why do we have to talk about this? Yeah, of course, I know now that's not how it works. Women don't just get the vote and then everything is fixed. There's still more work to be done, but I didn't realize that at age 15. And as far as feminists and feminism goes, I didn't really know very much about it, but I do know that I heard on TV like guys having some not very nice things to say about feminists, like TV and movies as well. And so, yeah, at that age, I really wanted to be liked by people, especially boys. I really wanted boys to like me, and I was already pretty uncool as it was, and so I think I didn't want to like be associated with something or do anything that would possibly make boys less interested in me. And I mean, gender equality was already solved anyway, right? You know, so yeah.
A lot of countries have laws that in theory make women and men equal, but in practice it's a very different story. So I think we first need to recognize that there is a problem before we can solve it. It's still very prevalent for men to earn more money than women. And this is not because women want to earn less money, but often equal work is paid very differently for women and for men. And this then often leads to women staying at home and taking care of the kids because the guy earns more, or the guy is not aware yet that he is also responsible to take care of the home and kids and these kind of things. And it's not necessarily bad per se if the guy goes out to work and the woman stays at home, but it has to be based on an honest conversation and an honest agreement between both sides, and there should not be this kind of standard formula that we always just follow this one pattern just because that's the way we have done things in the past.